What's up guys, Spootyskater here, and today I'm going to talk to you about Nollie Kickflips. The Nollie flip is probably one of my favorite flip tricks. It has a very special place in my flip trick repertoire. There's just something about the way it looks, the way it feels, but before we do that, we have to make sure we get our nollies and our kickflips on lock. Only then are we able to start romanticizing about the Nollie kickflip. As the name implies, the Nollie kickflip is a combination of a nollie and a kickflip. It's just like doing a kickflip, except with your nose. What you're going to want to do is set up your front foot in the same position in which you feel comfortable popping your nollies, and your back foot in a position slightly pointed towards the tail with your front toes. I like to keep them a little bit over that bottom left screw. You're going to start by popping it like a nollie, smacking that nose down, bringing the board up, and flicking it with your back foot, letting it do a full rotation before catching it both feet on the bolts every time. This was actually a trick that eluded me for quite some time. Some initial issues I ran into was not getting the board to flick. I couldn't get my back foot to actually turn over and flick with the toes. I would just sort of be pushing it down with the top of my foot and not the side of my toes like you would want to do a kickflip. And so one way I decided to get around that was by sitting. Just anytime I was sitting, either in class or at home, I would practice with my back foot, turning it over on itself to get that toe flick, get the feeling of what it's like to put your foot upside down like that. And then eventually it got translated to the skateboard trick, to getting it to flip the board in that direction with that motion, with my foot like that. Another big issue I had was I would flick the board too early. I would try, as soon as the nose would lift up, even the slightest, I would try and flick the board, which would cause it just to be pushed down or pushed away from me. And the biggest way to troubleshoot that is to just wait until you hear that nose smack. Wait until you hear that nice rich pop of the nose on the ground. Give it like even a little bit of a second. It almost feels like a delay, like you're waiting to flick it. You're popping and then you're flicking. But that really makes all the difference in getting the board to flip the way you want to. And finally, one of the other issues I ran into was just it feeling a bit too awkward. I mean, it is a nollie trick, so it's kind of the opposite stance than what you're used to doing your flip tricks. And one way I got around that was just ever so slightly rotating my shoulders. So if you have your shoulders facing forward in the direction you're going, like you would doing any regular stance trick, it's gonna feel awkward. You're gonna be in the wrong position to be able to flick the board in a nollie kickflip. So I just rotate my shoulders ever so slightly, just a little bit facing towards the nose, towards the tip of the nose, and then that helps me to think about getting my leg out instead of down. Once you get your nollie flips down nice and consistent, one of the best things to do is throw it in a line. Get a nice tray flip to nollie flip, and you're golden, buddy. I hope these tips help you with your nollie kickflips. If you're having any kinds of troubles with them, hopefully I gave you some food for thought, something to think about next time you're going and practicing your nollie kickflips. If you have any questions or any troubles with your nollie kickflips, please feel free to leave a comment below. I will be reading and answering any questions that anyone may have about nollie kickflips. They are the best flip trick that you can do. Oh my word. Combination of two tricks, the nollie and the kickflip. The nollie flip.